Avenue. This is the track space inner loop. And I even did this with getting the proper dimensions for the proper angles and dimensions for bus bays, for the proper dimensions, actually 40 by whatever foot for a bus, the proper turning radius, and even have with the parking spaces. Yeah. But the basic approach that I had was having multiple platforms for commuter rail and intercity rail, with using the underground, and I hate to use the word underground, but underpass to get to the station, to put the floor of the station essentially at the grade level of Central Avenue, and then which then places the floor of the station virtually at the level of the tunnel. I have to do a slight downgrade. It's basically the same approach that the former New York Central station had. So that they get to the station platforms, you basically just like pass through a corridor, and then you have to go up a stairway to get to the platforms. For the intercity buses, I had these bus bays here, and then loop. Actually, I'm trying to remember what grade level I had. I may have had that at an upper level, so we can like get over to the platform level. And I had surface parking, but that's disposable. You could have. You can make better use of the land by having structure parking and then have additional building space. But I don't want the building to get too huge. Just that if you didn't have some other use such as an office use, a building of that size would actually be quite large. I had the RTS transit buses, and again, not as a transfer facility for RTS buses, but just to give better access to the station via RTS bus. I had basic street stops here, and I had a little. Actually, I think I had the stops here, and I think this was a pull-off loop. The labels aren't on this layer here, but it's a drop-off loop for cars. Yeah. And then I think I had the RTS buses here. So that way you have seamless transfer between the station building and the RTS buses, and for them to the drop-off loop, by the curb. And here I wiped out that loop road here, and a lot of narrowed a lot of the space here to create more of a park space. I just showed surface parking there and kind of shrunk it down for what's there today to accommodate the surrounding uses. But that's disposable. That you could either, if there was to be an RTS transfer facility, like Tim was saying, that would be a good location for it, or alternatively some other use, such as make an entire, like as Tim was saying, like a completely parkland, or have some other use, like some other office or retail or hotel use. And I showed a decking over of the inner loop. Not trying to weigh on the pros and cons of whether the inner loop needs to be eliminated or retained, but operating off the assumption that the inner loop is retained, but to create a better pedestrian environment between the station area and downtown proper, to reduce a little bit of the widths. And you can't really tell from the drawing, but actually I narrowed some of the lane widths here. It's just like this axis here on Cumberland is just the width of the asphalt is just overly ridiculous. I actually narrowed that down. So to create a much better pedestrian environment linking downtown proper to the station building. So it's the basic overall approach I had to it. It's somewhat similar to Tim's. I'm not entirely sure how well like the flyover would work, but I think it's really something to look at for the intercity buses for Trailways and Greyhound. But the way that I showed it was, that they would loop in from a driveway here and have bus bays near the track level.